Hey there, Scoobies. Though not the greatest amount of screen time, Kendra does greatly impact the show and the lore within the few episodes that we see her. Introduced in the episode What's My Line Part 1, Kendra was the next Slayer to be called after Buffy's death at the hands of the Master. The episode mainly uses its time to lead up to a cliffhanger.
Who are you?
Who am I? You attacked me, who the hell are you?
I'm Kendra, the Vampire Slayer.
That being said, the signs are all there. Spike calls for the Order of Taraka to take out Buffy, and it's implied that 3 will be sent, as seen by Drusilla's tarot cards. This is where the episode tricks us, though, through the use of editing as we get 1, 2, then... Buffy takes out the first of the Order, and Drusilla flips his card. There is something very telling in what Drusilla says, whilst the camera is focusing on the last one.
It brings the Slayer closer to them.
I think she knew of the second Slayer this whole time. This is also a reference to us, the viewer, of Kendra's true identity. Although this episode was used to create tension, we do learn some things about Kendra within the minimal screen time. For one thing, we can see that she's an adept fighter and tends towards the Watcher's training methodology.
It should simply be plunge and move on.
She goes for the kill twice before getting into fight mode. You can tell that she's going for the kill, it's just that Angel is more adept than the usual vampire. Also, he has plot armor.
If you tell me what I need to know, I won't hurt you. You think this is funny?
Kendra is wholly committed to being a Slayer, and she finds little amusement outside of her calling. So, yeah.
I think it is funny now.
When fighting Buffy, we are shown differences between the fighting styles, which is a visual representation of their personalities. Kendra again is rigid, focused on using her weapons, going for the kill shot. Buffy, however, uses her surroundings. Whereas Kendra is stoic, Buffy is playful.
Come on, don't make me do the chick fight thing.
Cheek fight.
Cheek fight.
Cheek fight.
Cheek fight.
Lols. Buffy's line is very telling here.
Who am I? You attacked me, who the hell are you?
It should simply be plunge and move on.
Even when they stop fighting, look at each of them. Both are out of breath, but Kendra seems to have more composure. Though Buffy has been a Slayer for longer, we can see Kendra is better trained. When you look at Kendra, her past actually paints a rather sad picture. We know that the Watchers Council represents an almost oppressive authority, but this is one of the first few insights into the process.
The things you do and have, I was taught, distract from my calling. Friends, school, even family.
Kendra's life is void of personal relationships.
My parents, they sent me to my Watcher when I was very young.
How young?
I don't remember them, actually. I've seen pictures.
Removed from her family and only focused on a single cause. Almost like she was drafted to fight a war, to die for her country. The fact she only has pictures of her parents and has not seen them shows the controlling nature of the council and the hierarchy that is instilled within her, which is an almost military style.
Hey, identify yourself.
Back off, Pink Ranger.
Kendra has been nurtured to always follow rules and orders,
And you allow this, sir?
putting the mission ahead of anything else.
Angel, but our priority is to stop Drusilla.
Angel's our friend. Except I don't like him.
We also see the patriarchy reference in her interactions with Xander.
I'm guessing dating isn't big with your Watcher either.
I am not permitted to speak with boys.
The indoctrination runs so deeply in Kendra that unlike Buffy, who yearns for more, she doesn't see anything else.
To do what, exactly?
To do my duty. I'm here to kill vampires.
Notice she says duty, not job. When Buffy became the Slayer, she was already around 15 and didn't know anything of the world beforehand. Kendra, like Giles, has grown up training her whole life to be the Slayer. So much so, you could be forgiven for believing she was part of a cult.
And you are called?
I am the Vampire Slayer.
We got that part, honey. He means your name.
Oh. They call me Kendra.
See how she says they? When asked who she is, Kendra refers to herself as the Slayer. She thinks of her name as something people call her, not her identity.
I call it Mr. Pointy.
You named your steak?
Well, what else does she have? An important point is Kendra's very presence.
I was only gone for a minute.
Up until now, we were aware that when one Slayer dies, the next one is called. It seems they didn't account for resuscitation techniques. This opens up a new question, which is later answered. If Kendra were to die and come back, then there would be 3 Slayers. But if Buffy dies again, then a new Slayer wouldn't be called as far as we know. And also, to me as a less important question,
It's a mistake. She isn't supposed to be here. She goes home. Look, no offense, I really don't mean this personally, but I'm not dead. And frankly, having you around creeps me out just a little bit.
I cannot just leave.
well, by rights, at this point, Kendra is the official Slayer. I mean this because she now carries the line, not Buffy. Many of the characters around Buffy represent facets of herself, Cordelia being the road not travelled, the person she might be if she wasn't the Slayer. On the flip side, Kendra is the Slayer side, void of a socialisation that makes Buffy who she is. She favours logic and is less comfortable dealing with emotions. She studies history and obeys the rules. She is committed to her mission while Buffy is committed to her friends. Take this scene, for example.
He's shot. Are you okay?
Kendra runs after the assassin while Buffy runs over to Oz. Unfortunately, it's these traits, the ones that separate her from Buffy and Faith, that also seal her fate. In Season 1, it was Buffy's fate to face the Master and die, like it was the fate of all Slayers before her to die facing their demons. Kendra is no different. The Watcher's teachings are passed down to every generation, and in every generation, the Slayer dies. Buffy only survived by breaking the mould of the teachings, by breaking the rules and not fighting alone. The circumstances of Kendra's death mirror Buffy's own. Buffy was compelled by the Master, unable to stop him. In this scene, Kendra is compelled by Drusilla, her cobra-like swain leaving her in a trance. Kendra, for all her strength, was forged into a weapon, a tool, nothing more. The tragedy of her death is that she was used as a tool or a plot device in order to further Buffy's own development and spur on our heroine to save the day. There is a term in comics known as fridging, derived from an incident in Green Lantern comic where Kyle Rayner comes home to find his girlfriend murdered and stuffed into a fridge. The trope being that female characters in fiction were often killed, maimed or depowered in order to further the character development of the male hero. I bring it up here as an example of how Kendra has been used, but in this case to further the development of a female hero. I don't mind character deaths. It helps bring an element of drama and shock, but it's important that that is not all they're for. On the one side, I like the storytelling for Buffy's arc. On the other, I don't like the character's introduction purely to further a plot.
I do things my way.
No wonder you died.